Hello, YouTube. How are we doing this evening? Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And TikTok, I've got TikTok ready to go. Of course, let's see if the mic works. That's its own drama today. But if it doesn't, I'll unplug and replug and then unplug entirely if I have to. Let's see. Let's see. Mirror my video. All right. Let's see. TikTok. All right. So TikTokers, can you hear me? Is my microphone working or not working? Can you hear? Speech, hearing, TikTok. Can you hear me or no? I already flipped the camera. Don't give me that. It's working? Okay. I already flipped the camera. I flipped it. Okay, that's weird. I flipped the camera. Okay, who knows? Now the camera's flipped. I flipped it, but it didn't flip. Unless I flipped it back. I don't know. Anyway, well, okay, now it's good. Okay. Anyway, well, the sound's working on TikTok too. This is a good, we're having a good, other than the fact that my third monitor or second monitor, whatever, is a little dark for Discord. I can see it, but it's annoying me. It's got some stupid light setting on it that adjusts the light up and down based on the sunlight. And I'm like, stop. So I'm going to have to Google it later and figure out how to turn it off, how to turn off the auto adjustment. Anyway, thank you, Annie, for the gifts. Thank you, everybody. Welcome. John Aravosis here. It is Tuesday, September 2nd. I am still rather exhausted from being sick, I have to say. It's funny. I can tell, like, when I start the show, I'm just kind of like, ooh. And I had a Gatorade today. I have to go buy some more. They were too heavy with all my groceries, so I didn't grab all the Gatorade. But maybe more Gatorade would help. I don't know. I'm just feeling very like, I had a coffee earlier, but I'm not going to have like a third coffee. Anyway, thank you, Addie. Thank you, Bryce. Welcome, everybody. Yasu Fallen. Perastica. I always forget, is perastica like rest kind of thing? I always forget. Anyway, so welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. Oh, thank you, Annie. I don't remember that gift. The bunny crown. It's kind of it's a Japanese bunny crown. That was very funny. Thank you, Helen, as well. I had, who knows what I had? At first I thought it might be food poisoning. I suspect it was a stomach flu of some kind, but I suspect people were saying norovirus going around, but basically, running to the bathroom kind of thing. We don't go into the details. Thank you, Louise, for the rock star. But and I'm tired like I always am too, but I'm extra tired from that. But yeah, it was one day of very sick-ish. But just another not even 6. It's been over a week now. It's exhausting. And I'm finally eating well again, at least. So at least I'm eating everything. Thank you, Dave, Annie, Wayne, Joshua. Thanks for the gifts, guys. So I'm eating everything, which is good. So at least I'm getting my vitamins and calories and everything. So that's good. In any case, but yes, I'm just still kind of tired today, but I'll be fine. I'm very I will not be poopy, I promise. So anyway, welcome, guys. John Aravosis here. We're going to talk about Trump's big announcement today that was a total lie. I have to laugh because thank God I did a video proving this was my idea, but I thought he was bullshitting and he wasn't going to announce anything. And that's exactly what happened. It was in the media, everybody fell for it. Oh my God, Trump's doing a big announcement. Is he going to retire? Oh my God. It's Donald Trump. If he says he's going to do a big announcement, it means he's not going to do a big announcement. It's Donald Trump. Yes, Dario. And he did. He came up and he lied again. In any case, before we jump into this, quick reminder for TikTok, 2 things actually. They are changing the subscriptions on TikTok so that in order for me to do the subscriber-only lives that I do on Saturday, you will have to have a super fan or whatever the hell it's called. But basically, they're upping the price, and we have no choice. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Dario. So on TikTok, to join our weekend show, you're going to have to get the $9.99 subscription. It ain't my fault. I'm not thrilled about it, but what do you do? So but that's going to start mid-September. So it is what it is. What do you do? Anyway, but otherwise, yeah. So I also set up, I don't know if anybody's going to use it, but TikTok has a new wish list thing or wishes or something. And at first I heard about it and thought, that sounds kind of crazy. Oh, I'm not getting a bigger cut of the pie. No, I'd be getting more money, but the pie is the same, or the percentage of the pie is the same. TikTok has a new thing called like wishes, where you can pay me to do things, which is funny because TikTok typically didn't like that in the past. We had to be very careful with like the gifts you guys give during the lives. We're not able to make them contingent on anything. We can't just that. We can't make them contingent. We can't even say, anyway, I can't even say what I can't say. Bottom line is we can simply say, support my work, gifts, yay. Well, now they've got a wish function, and I set up 2 at the top of the screen over there. And the wish function is you can say you'll do something for a gift. So I picked pretty big things. They're not cheap gifts on purpose. One gift is I will sing happy birthday. Although if it's your birthday, I guess it's probably not very nice. I'm making you pay me, but hey, this is capitalism. So one of them is a happy birthday. The first one, the lion, is happy birthday. And the second one, or the dragon, I should say, is happy birthday. The second one is this interstellar thing. That one's very expensive. That one will get you a United Nations story. So I will tell United Nations stories if you buy an interstellar gift. Although I don't want to make Poppy buy it though, but I've contingent the UN stories on the interstellar gift. That way, because also the idea was I don't want gifts that are going to require me to basically do it, the entire show doing UN stories. So they had to be expensive enough. Yeah, Make-A-Wish, exactly, the new Make-A-Wish. All right, let's get rolling, guys. Let's get rolling. So Trump today did something very weird or bizarre, but I expected it. He said he was going to make a big announcement from the Oval Office at 2:00 Eastern time. And 2:00 Eastern time came. Trump wasn't there. Big surprise. We then get to like 3:00 Eastern, and Trump shows up. And the big announcement is, dun, 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 we're going to move the Space Force from Colorado to Alabama. Wow. That was it. That was the big announcement that everybody was waiting for. And people were going, oh, since last night, oh my God, is he going to be resigning? Oh my God, right? All the people are discussing all this stuff. And I'm listening, and I thank God I did a video on TikTok. So for memoriam, I have the video as proof. Proof is my witness. TikTok is my witness that I said, he's bullshitting. He's not going to do anything. He's not announcing anything. This is what Trump does. This is what he does. He has a long history of announcing, oh, big announcement coming, and it's not. It's not. What this was, I think it was Louis may have been the one who said this, that what this thing was today that Trump did, exactly, Annie just used the same phrase, proof of life is what it was. Trump was getting worried about all of the speculation about his health, and he held this thing today in order to show that he was, doing okay. That's it. That's it. Now, I do a couple things. One, he looked horrible today. He definitely looked tired, and he went for a while. He took questions, but even the questions, he was tired. He was clearly tired. So makes you wonder if something was going on, right? The second thing was, and this still kind of fascinates me. Thank you, Blue, for the gift. Keep the gifts coming, guys. I appreciate the gifts. They support me. I like that. So thank you. He had a lot of makeup on, yep, which made me wonder too, like, are you hiding something? But he did this as proof of life. He did this as proof that he wasn't sick. That means all the rumors about him being sick bothered him. Fox News, Peter, that Ducey guy on Fox News, thank you, Dario, thank you, Gene, thank you, Wayne, thank you, Ash, for the gifts. The Fox News guy asked Trump, and the Fox News guy said, well, there was a story on the internet this weekend saying you were dead. And Trump's like, what? And he repeats it. Now, Trump, of course, runs with it and goes, this is why you can't believe anybody in the media. They're all fake news. Yeah. No one said anybody in the media reported that Trump was dead. They didn't. Nobody in the media reported that. This were like internet rumors. But Trump, of course, has to take it with an authoritarian thing, But he, again, what is interesting to me is all of those rumors about his health bothered him. I would say the White House was worried, but honestly, thank you, Jackie, for the gift. It was Trump. Trump wouldn't do it unless Trump was worried. Trump did this because he was worried that all the discussion about his health was starting to get traction. It was starting to look bad. That's my political analysis. That's very interesting. It means a couple things, I guess. It means one, or maybe the main thing it means, not even one, is going after Trump on his health works. It clearly bothers him. He and his people clearly think it's a risk. That's very interesting. There was no announcement, Uruguaya. That's the whole point. The announcement was they're moving the Space Force headquarters from Colorado to Alabama. Ooh. Right? Nobody cares. Thank you, Ren. Thank you, Auntie. Thank you, Mushu. So he cares that people are saying he looks unhealthy, that people are whispering that he's having an illness or something. He cares about that. That means those lines of attack seem to work. What I mean, let me put a more finer point on this. Not that they seem to work. He thinks those lines of attack work. He thinks those lines of attack work. That's what that means. That he's worried about it. That's very interesting. Very interesting. So that, that's something to keep in mind. That's definitely something to keep in mind. Good job, Blue. So interesting. So thank you, Wayne and Carmelina, for the gifts on TikTok. Lots of gifts coming in. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that. Really scary story today from The Guardian. So The Guardian had a story or in the last day or so, maybe not today. I think it was today, but it could have been the last couple of days, that Trump just bought ICE. Thank you, Jackie. Just bought ICE hacking software from the Israelis that can break into any American cell phone. Thank you, Gene. Thank you, Jackie, for the gifts. Even encrypted apps on your cell phone. ICE is going to now have the ability to break into Signal and WhatsApp, the encrypted conversations on your phone they can break into. How's that for creepy? ICE, right? The immigration agency that is not known for following the rules, is not known for caring about civil rights and civil liberties. Very scary stuff. They were saying that the software that Trump is buying for ICE, it will allow them to hack your phone. They can read anything, of course. They can look at any photos. They can break into your Signal. They can break into your WhatsApp and read everything you've written. They can turn your phone into a monitor where it can track your location. They can turn the microphone and the camera of your phone on so they can listen to you and watch you. I mean, and they can do it with any phone in America, encrypted or not. Woo! Yeah. And again, and he's buying it for ICE. Now, the interesting thing is Biden was initially looking at buying this, and he put it on hold pending basically a review of the civil liberties implications, which is good. Trump came in and he threw out Biden's review, according to The Guardian. Thank you, Nauseous. Very scary stuff. Because again, I mean, this is incredibly scary stuff. I just, I mean, this is exactly the kind of thing that the right wing used to be afraid of, that they didn't want, the president and the administration having this kind of power. Thank you, Omar. I do not trust ICE. I don't trust Trump either. I mean, I think Trump has a pretty established track record of doing what he wants. He doesn't care about the law. I think it is incredibly scary that they will have the power to break into any American, and exactly politicians' phones, people who criticize them. Very scary shit. Very scary shit here going on. Anyway. What else we got? Trump was asked today if he had decided to send National Guard troops to Chicago and said, "We're going in, but I didn't say when." Okay, whatever. So maybe he's sending National Guard troops to Chicago. Remember, just because Trump says something doesn't make it true. Thank you, Marsha. Thank you, Jamie, Jaime, I forgot. We talked about this before. Are you a Jaime? I always forget. I think we said you were a Jaime, right? I'm forgetting now. I'm still not feeling totally well, so give me a little bit of some leeway at least. Jamie, you're a Jamie? It's a Jamie. Everyone else remembers you're a Jamie. Okay. That is how you spell. Well, wouldn't Jamie be Jamie, or is Jamie always Jaime? I mean, obviously, it is what it is. As Data said on Star Trek, one. What's the difference? One is my name, the other is not. Star Trek fans will appreciate that one. Always stuck in my head. I love that one. Yeah, okay, so there is Jamie. I thought so. There is Jamie Jamie. That's what I thought. Like Jamie Bamber, the actor, is Jamie. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. Thank you, Chris, for sharing the live. What else we got? CNN, a federal judge ruled Tuesday that President Trump and Defense Secretary Hegseth violated federal law by using the U.S. military to help carry out law enforcement activities in and around Los Angeles this summer. The judge concluded that Trump's use of thousands of federalized California National Guard members and U.S. Marines to provide protection to federal agents during an aggressive immigration crackdown in the L.A. area ran afoul of the Posse Comitatus Act, a 19th century law that generally prohibits the use of U.S. troops for domestic law enforcement purposes. The only thing is, that's one judge. It's going to go to the appeals court, and let's see what happens. And then it goes to the Supreme Court, and I think Trump will win because that's what happens. So I am not, it's better that Trump lost than won, right? I mean, that's always a good thing. Thank you, Pingu, for the gifts. But beyond that, I'm not too hopeful. Let's put it that way. Let me look for something here really quick. And then we're going to continue with a little bit of Ukraine news. There is not a ton of news today, actually. Interestingly, not a ton. Let me see. What was this story here? Oh, right. That was the 9 former. Oh, this was a good. Yeah, so somebody mentioned the CDC letter. I might as well mention this from the BBC, but it's elsewhere as well. 9 former leaders of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have spoken out against Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., publishing an open letter that criticizes his policies, including restricting vaccines, pulling funding for research, and firing thousands of healthcare workers. They also wrote in an open letter that last week's removal of Dr. Susan Manares as CDC director, which was followed by a string of resignations and protests, added fuel to a raging fire. They said on Tuesday the CDC had strayed from its core mission. They said the 7 months under Kennedy were unlike any other the country has ever experienced. Kennedy has slashed and restricted access to a number of immunization efforts, including ending U.S. support for global vaccine program. His policies could put, the letter said, children at risk of serious disease and could ultimately lead to a pandemic if left unchallenged. Well, yeah, they voted for it. So this is not a surprise. I mean, I'm glad they wrote the letter, but this is not a surprise. Trump criticized Putin today, which is kind of funny. Trump is back on Mr. Taco, on his little flip-flop. Our little flip-flop Taco is back again criticizing Putin, which is kind of funny. So, I mean, it's good. It's, as I say, it's better that Trump is criticizing Putin than praising Putin or than criticizing Zelensky. So that's a good thing. I still think, it's Trump, so he could flip-flop again any day, but that's still a good thing. Trump said, I'm very disappointed in President Putin. I can say that, and we'll be doing something to help people live. It's not a question of Ukraine. It's help people live. I love his English. It's not a question of Ukraine. It's not a question of Ukraine. It's help people live. Can I buy a verb there? 7,000 are dying every single week. Soldiers mostly, but 7,000 people. And if I can help to stop that, I think I have an obligation to do that. This is Trump trying to get his Nobel Prize again. Having said that, that's good. He's pissed at Putin. That's good. I still think Trump is going to walk. Thank you, Al. He's going to abandon Ukraine and stop helping them all together. But if he's pissed at Putin, who am I to complain, right? Ukraine liberated another village near Pokrovsk in eastern Ukraine. That's a good thing. Again, anytime that the Ukrainians are gaining back, are winning back land, is a good thing. Thank you, Al, for the gift. Thank you, Laddie. Keep the gifts coming, guys. Appreciate it. Zelensky will meet European leaders in Paris on the 4th. So in 2 days, they're having a big meeting with Zelensky and European leaders. And South Korea's National Intelligence Service says about 2,000 North Korean soldiers were killed fighting for Russia so far. They say that North Korea plans to send an additional 6,000 troops to Russia as part of a third wave of deployment. So there you go. 2,000 is a lot, considering, have they sent 12,000 so far? 10 or 12,000? That would be 20%. I mean, 20% of the troops killed? That's not a small amount. Well, 15 to 20%, that's not small. Thank you, Marsha, for the alien buddy. Thank you, Wayne, as well. That's it for the news. We can hang and talk about all this, but maybe we should start talking about Trump's big announcement. There isn't a ton of news today, guys. So I'm going to sit back because I'm still very tired from being sick. So at least I'm feeling pretty good. I'm just tired. And that sun is kind of, oh, thank you for the tiara, Anthony. Very sweet of you. Thank you. Thank you. Epstein, there is no Epstein news. No, I wish there were. Thank you, Derek, Denise. I mean, the House Speaker did have to meet with Epstein's victim families. That was pretty good, I thought. Trump, yeah, there was some weird thing with Trump, kind of got it wrong, but there was a weird video this weekend of somebody throwing something out the window of the White House from the second floor. And apparently the White House this weekend confirmed it and said, oh yeah, that was a construction worker. Today, Trump said the video is AI. It's a fake. You can't throw anything out the windows. They're all sealed shut. Now, having said that, all that has to be is Trump isn't aware. I mean, it still could be a construction worker, and Trump wasn't aware that they were able to open one of the windows, right? I mean, it's totally. So I'm less excited about this story being a scandal than some people are, I think. You know, again, I try to be truthful with you guys, and I try not to like build up stories that I don't think are stories. This one, I'm not convinced it's a story. Let me move this down. There we go. That's a little lower there, so you can. I think it's a non-story so far, Tamarin. Yeah, I mean, you know, who knows? But right now, I'm not convinced there's anything going on there. So I'm making some jasmine rice as we speak. I had it on a timer. Jasmine rice smells very good. It's got a nice odor to it versus regular rice. Wastes a lot of water, but it's a good rice. Anyway, yeah. So what else, guys? But so yeah, I'm gonna yawn again. So the Trump's big announcement today was BS. It was a joke. It basically was Trump providing proof of life, as folks were saying, meaning Trump was worried about the sort of scandals of the last week and people claiming that he wasn't healthy and all this kind of stuff. And that's why, oh, thank you for the glad goggles, Marsha. Appreciate that. Thank you, Lynn, as well, for the hearts. Trump was worried about all the talk over the last week about his health. Basically, Trump didn't do any public events and didn't publicly speak for a week. That's very weird. Hell, Trump could have had what I had. He didn't speak for a week publicly. Trump loves to speak publicly. Trump always wants to be out in public, right? So it certainly looked weird that he disappeared for a week. Thank you, Rich. But what's interesting to me is the fact that he was worried about the public perception. That's interesting to me. I think, and again, this is just my experience in politics for the last 40 years, but the fact that Trump announced a big, huge announcement today, and it wasn't a big, huge announcement, makes me think he held today's meeting in order to put himself out there so people would look and go, oh, see, he's okay, right? So they could look and see him and say, he's not hiding, he's not sick. He looked like I feel right now. Which is just very tired because I was sick all week. I think he looked very tired. I'll put it that way. And he sounded very tired too. Like the guy that the Fox News guy was kept asking him all the conspiracy stuff. Thank you, Addie, for the rock the stage. The Fox News guy was like, did you see this stuff on the internet this weekend claiming you had died? And Trump goes, what? And Fox News goes, the internet this weekend claimed you died. And Trump goes, oh, I didn't see that. And he's kind of talking like this, though, like, I didn't see that. Whereas, like, healthy Donald Trump would have, like, jumped on it and ran with it. You know, he would have made a joke. I mean, blah, blah, blah. He sounded like I said, like I was sick all week. He sounded like I feel. Alexa, raise the temperature 1 degree. And now I'm getting cold. His hair was okay. His hair was a mess as well. This is true. No, I think he looked tired. He sounded tired. Yeah. But again, what's interesting to me was that he felt the need to go public to dispel rumors about his health. That means rumors about his health get to him. Rumors about his health bother him. He thinks it hurts him. Just something to keep in mind if you're a partisan who doesn't like Trump. That's very interesting feedback. Thank you, Dublista and GGAI for the gifts. Yeah. Well, that was the Fox News guy's phone when he showed him throwing the thing out the window. Yeah. I don't think anybody makes Trump go, but Manana asked, did his handlers make him go public? I don't think anybody makes Trump do anything. I mean, other than, Vladimir Putin, maybe. But I don't think anybody makes Trump do anything. I've not seen the video. I saw a still shot people were sharing. I didn't see the video. But nobody makes Trump have a press conference. Again, Putin, maybe, but nobody else does. Thank you for the fireworks. Very nice gift there, Christina. Appreciate that. So anyway, oh boy. I should have made some tea. I need to make iced tea. That's what I think I'll make next. Because some ice, like what I would have, like right now that I'm feeling very drained, iced tea would be a nice thing to have, right? Like that would be a nice subtle pick me up. I should have actually grabbed the water and put the tea bags in it already. Didn't think of it. I got to think where the rate, probably next week. Yeah. It looks like interest rates are going to come down a little bit, maybe. The problem is the Federal Reserve is rightly concerned that Donald Trump is going to, by the way, oh my God, the inflation stuff, is going to give inflation. I had not seen the story from 2 weeks ago. Vegetable prices went up 38% last month. Like, not all vegetables, I'm guessing, but 38%. I was like, holy cow. People are and the polls are showing, thank you, Marsha, for the gifts. The polls are showing people are very worried about inflation. Thank you, Jamie. I almost called you Jaime again. Thank you, Jamie, for the necklace. People are very worried. Thank you, Marsha. Thank you, Jamie. I know people talking about coffee. Preston Stewart was talking about the coffee he normally buys. He buys like a huge 5 pounds of coffee, and it costs like $50. But that's pretty good. $10 for a pound of coffee is quite good. He pays $50. The price went up to like $80 now, which is pretty wild. So yeah, coffee price is going crazy. I do have a timer for the rice. I've got a what's it called? So one of you guys had the same rice maker. I got it off of Amazon when it was on sale. It's good. I like it. So yes, it makes the rice as we're broadcasting. So, but yeah, very expensive. I mean, gas is down relatively. Egg prices are down, which is good, but a lot of other stuff, very bad. Again, coffee comes from Brazil. Trump put a 50% tariff on Brazil. He put a 50% tax on coffee. The problem is here's the problem. Any company in America that sells you coffee, most of the U.S. coffee comes from Brazil. Okay. I'm trying to think how much exactly. We had this before. I think I had the number before. Well, most of the imported coffee comes from Brazil. I shouldn't say most of the coffee. Let's see what ChatGPT says. I want some information about coffee imports from Brazil, period. What percentage of U.S. imports of coffee come from Brazil, but also what percentage of U.S. coffee overall comes from Brazil? Not just imports, but total coffee used in the U.S. All right, let's see if it gets this right. I like that you can ask these kind of searches, Um, 35% of U.S. unroasted coffee imports originate from Brazil. So 30 to 35% of imports are Brazil. Okay. Um, the U.S. imports nearly 99% of its coffee consumption. So 34% of U.S. coffee comes from Brazil. That's the problem. 1/3 of all U.S. coffee comes from Brazil. Trump just increased the price of coffee in America, of 1/3 of the coffee, by 50%, by putting 50% tariffs on Brazil. The problem is the coffee you buy in the store, okay? The company that's selling you that coffee, they have to buy it from the Brazilians, okay? Um, Again, it's from Brazil. It's 1/3 of the coffee in America comes from Brazil. They've got to buy it from the Brazilians. Because of Trump's tariffs, when they buy it, they've now got to pay a 50% tax. So let's pretend, for example, I'll just take a figure. Let's pretend they normally pay $5 for a pound of coffee and they sell it to you for $10. Let's just pretend, okay? Your local grocery store. So they buy the coffee for $5, they sell it to you for 10. Trump just put a 50% tax on it. So your local grocery store is no longer buying that coffee for $5. They're now buying that coffee for $7.50. So normally they would have been selling it to you for 10, buying it for 5 and making $5. Now they're selling it for 10, but they're buying it for $7.50 because of Trump's 50% tax. So they're only making $2.50. They just lost a huge amount of their profit. That's why they're passing the cost on to you. They're, especially if the markup is even less. This is a huge tax, 50%. And again, American coffee prices are already going up. Very bad stuff. If your coffee's from Peru, you're lucky. You're very lucky. But very bad what Trump is doing with inflation. And the polls today, the polls today are terrible for Trump. Americans' number one concern is inflation. How do they think Trump is doing? Not good. I'm glad personally that Americans are realizing he's, raising prices. We told you this. We told you his tariffs are literally taxes on Americans buying coffee. It's like, oh, well, not good. I mean, it's very not good. Well, people don't get it. People are getting it now because they're seeing the prices go up. By the way, this is why your mortgages aren't going down, your mortgage rate. And Trump claimed today, again, everything's a lie. Everything's a lie. He said today, the Federal Reserve was going to lower interest rates until I won the election. Then they refused. You know why? Because they don't like me. They didn't vote for me and they're doing it to hurt me. Yeah, I'm sure the Federal Reserve, the independent central bank of the United States, is setting interest rate policy to be mean to Donald Trump. Yeah, actually, what the Federal Reserve said in a roundabout way was the reason they stopped lowering interest rates, or they didn't lower them as much after compared to what they had planned, was because of Trump's tariffs. They're afraid of inflation. Trump's tariffs killed decreases in the interest rate. Trump's tariffs caused the mortgage rates to stay steady instead of going down significantly. It's his fault. And now, even scarier, thank you, Marcia, because of what Trump is doing with the Federal Reserve, because he's trying to take over the Federal Reserve, which sets interest rates independently, because he's trying to take it over and put his own people so that Trump can decide what interest rates are in America, it's actually runs a risk of increasing interest rates or the rates on mortgages. So even if Trump succeeds in taking over the Federal Reserve and cutting interest rates, now this is the central bank interest rate, it could cause mortgage rates to go through the roof. Why? Because everyone's going to be afraid of inflation. And if they're afraid of inflation, the people who buy bonds want more money on the bond. They want to make more money. If inflation's going up 5%, I want 6% on my bond, right? Well, guess what? When the rate on bonds goes up, what do you think happens to your mortgage rate? Mortgages are tied to bond yields, which is basically like an interest rate on a bond. That's where mortgages come from, a mortgage rate. It's very complicated and crazy. So that basically the bottom line is by risking taking over the Fed and becoming in control of interest rates. If Trump forces interest rates to go down, he can actually cause interest rates to go up for mortgages. Very scary thing, because people will no longer trust that the U.S. is going to be good with inflation. Very scary stuff. And well, also the economy could just melt down entirely. It is an incredibly dangerous situation what he's doing with the central bank, with the Federal Reserve. It's what happens in dictatorships and banana republics. And it's how capital flees the country and basically goes to Europe instead. Very scary stuff. Basically, people stop investing in the U.S. because, Jesus, oh, that was my little, I was wondering, that was my little, my little suction cup I put on the window to stop the sun from coming in. One moment. Boom. I was wondering what that was. Oh, it's upside down. One moment. All right, hang on here. Oh. All right, that should hold. There we go. The sun comes in, and the only way I can block it is putting my my fleece on the window. I've got hooks, very high tech here. I've got hooks on the window that hold my fleece. See, that hold my fleece up. It works. What do you do? Anyway. What else? So yeah, what else is going on, guys? 6:40. We're a little early. Early, but there wasn't a ton of news today. So thank you, Cricket, for the gifts. And keep them in there. Keep coming. Thank you, Cricket. God, that rice just smells so good. I know, behind the scenes look exactly how the magic is made. I do. I've got little hooks up. This is a chenille, I guess, throw or something. And I've got little hooks, little suction cup hooks that hold it up too. That's the thing right there. I put it on the window again to block the sun and to give a little bit of color as well to the background. But it's funny. It literally is a throw for the couch. And I bought suction. I was like, how do I block this? All these years, I never knew how to block the sunlight. And finally, because I didn't want to shut the curtains, because I think the curtains are ugly, those slats. So I use them when I have to. But I was like, maybe if I hang like a sheet, it would look kind of pretty. So I am not the interior design guy. So anything I can do, anything I can come up with helps. Anyway, what else? I finished unpacking all of my boxes of mom stuff. They're here. They're open. They're done. Everything's been put away. I'm very excited. Got to get her artwork on the walls. I've got 3 paintings that hello. So I did not give Sasha her water. She's looking over at me. I will give you a little more water, but Damien's got to come over to help me get the paintings on the wall. 1 second. One second, you. All right. I never forget to do this. Here you go. So I'm excited about that, but everything's emptied out. The dishes are put away. The crystals put away. I'm very excited. Because some beautiful crystal glasses and stuff of my mom that I like, Yes. Giving the Congressional Medal of Honor to Rudy. Why not? I mean, whatever, crazy, but what do you do? What else? Oh, thank you, Hestia, for the rose. What else, guys? Anything else going on? The actual announcement? Yeah, so Trump's big announcement today, huge announcement at 2:00 was he's moving the Space Force from Colorado to Alabama because Colorado didn't vote for him and the Alabamians did. Alabamians or whatever they're called did. So he's punishing states that didn't vote for him. Oh God, I forgot to say, even better. Trump claims this is the best part, just to make it crazier. Trump claims that the reason he's moving the Space Force from Colorado to Alabama is because Colorado has mail-in voting. Okay, Grandpa. He claims he's moving the Space Force from one state to another because they have mail-in voting. Now, what's even crazier about this, and there's no proof that there's any problems with mail-in voting. Alabama also has it. Oh, that's fabulous. Okay, first of all, that's fabulous. Dawn says Alabama has mail-in voting too. Are you sure that's true? That's freaking fabulous. That is absolutely fabulous. Tell me about mail-in voting in Alabama. That's hilarious. So that's the first thing. Okay. Hang on. Okay. They do not have universal mail-in voting. Absentee ballots are available only to voters who meet specific statutory reasons, such as being out of the country, illness or disability, caregiving responsibilities, or working during polling hours. That's mail-in voting. Like, that's mail-in voting. I work during polling hours. That's mail-in voting. So he's moving it to Alabama that has mail-in voting. And he says the reason he's doing it, I have to do a TikTok video on this. The reason he's doing it is because Colorado has mail-in voting. What is actually even more interesting to me about this is the reason Donald Trump thinks mail-in voting is bad is because Vladimir Putin told him so 2 weeks ago. Trump came out of his meeting with Putin in Alaska and went on Sean Hannity's show on Fox News on Friday night. And I've got the tape. You can Google it. And said he said on the show, Putin told me something really interesting. And you're kind of going, oh God, oh no. Like, oh God, please. Yes, Donald, what did Putin tell you? He told me. And Trump goes, Putin told Trump that Trump actually won the election in 2020. Putin told him. And Trump said on Hannity's show that Putin told him the reason he lost was because of mail-in voting, that the Democrats stole the election using mail-in voting. And Trump believed him. Trump believed him. So Trump today claims that he moved the Space Force from Colorado to Alabama because Colorado has mail-in voting, even though Alabama has it too. And he did it because Vladimir Putin told him mail-in voting was the reason he lost in 2020. I mean, I just like, my God, again, Russia. You know, I mean, my God, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. You know, but again, Vladimir Putin told him. And you're like, he literally said it on Hannity's show. Putin told me the most interesting thing. Even, you know, also, by the way, Hannity's a suck up. You know, Hannity in his head was going, dude, but he couldn't say it publicly. He couldn't tell Trump, like, what are you talking about? Right. Rocket City. What did he call Rocket City? Huntington. Oh, he renamed Huntington, Alabama, Rocket City because the rockets are going to be there now. Man. I mean, could you imagine all these families, by the way, that are like in the Space Force? Oh, Huntsville. Okay, Huntsville. I'm sorry. Oh, that's right. Huntsville, not Huntington. Huntsville. All these families that are in the Space Force that thought they were going to live in Colorado and now are going to be living in Alabama. I mean, I'm sure Huntsville is nice as it is, but if I had kids, I don't think I'd want them growing up there. I think I'd rather have them in Colorado, to be honest. That's kind of a big deal. Or if I was the spouse of somebody, I would not be really thrilled. But oh well. Rocket City. Oh well. Yeah, there's no way I would move to Alabama in a million years. This is going to hurt recruitment for the Space Force. Absolutely. Oh well. Yeah, no reproductive rights if you're a woman. Exactly. If you're gay, good luck. Honestly, if you're anything other than a white male, I'd be nervous. But, you know, National Guard headed to Chicago. Trump says yes, but he's not saying when. That was the quote today in the Oval Office from Trump. So who knows? You know. Oh boy. What else? Like I said, there wasn't a ton of news today, guys. Interestingly, I scoured even Ukraine news. There wasn't a lot across the board. Your niece went to school with the governor of Illinois. That's interesting. My jasmine rice smells good. Very good. How much is it going to cost? Yeah, millions, I'm sure. Actually, it's probably going to cost a lot, not just millions, because they've got to rebuild the entire thing there and they got to move everybody there. How much is it going to cost to move the U.S. Space Force from Colorado to Alabama? Question mark. In terms of, building the facilities, in terms of moving everything from Colorado, in terms of moving families. What's the total estimated cost? Or come up with an estimate, a reasonable estimate. Let's see what ChatGPT says. Yeah, they may have to build stuff. It's thinking longer for a better answer. That's good. ChatGPT has this ability to which is kind of cool. It decides when certain questions require a little more in-depth analysis, which I think is very interesting. So it's coming up with something very interesting, very interesting. Again, Trump doesn't mind wasting federal dollars. He's $1 million a day, by the way. They're spending $1 million a day on this DC fiasco. $1 million a day. I mean, unbelievable the waste. But this is what these guys do. Like, oh, well. It's still thinking. It's still thinking. Interesting. All right, it's coming up with an estimate. It's a total waste of money. Of course it is. Of course it is. Hell, JD Vance's vacations. I wonder how much they're costing. The dude seems to go on vacation like every week. I mean, he talked about, that'll be my next ChatGPT course. Remember when he talked about, God forbid something happens to Trump, I've had more education in the last 200 days on how to be president than anybody in the world. And it's like, dude, you were in Disneyland and India and everywhere else. All right, ChatGPT is still estimating the relocation costs. So it'll be a guesstimate. They may not be right, but I always think I just find ChatGPT fast. It's like Google on steroids. It's like Google with a brain. The brain isn't always right, but it's a very interesting brain. It's still thinking. We'll let it think. Actually, this jasmine rice is making my nose clogged a little, which is kind of funny. Interestingly, I got the timer set for it to be done at 7, but then it'll sit for 15 minutes and steam. Estimating costs. It is still estimating the costs. Wow. Very interesting. No, 1 million a day with an M for all the military stuff they're doing in Washington, D.C. I use ChatGPT more, although you got to be careful because it's not always, they're just not always right. Short answer, you're probably looking at $0.6 to $1.2 billion with a B in one-time costs, with a reasonable midpoint around $1 billion if the headquarters moves from Colorado to Huntsville. About 1,400 to 1,800 people work in and with the headquarters. Yeah, so 1,400 to 1,800 people are going to have to move. It's going to cost possibly $1 billion to move everybody. Jesus. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Yeah. What was the other thing I was going to look? We were just talking about what was the other question I said I was going to ask ChatGPT when it freed up, once it was done looking at the Space Force stuff. What was, anybody remember? What was the question going to be? I don't remember. Oh, his vacations. Thank you. You're right. Thank you, Medic. How many days of vacation has JD Vance been on during his first 200 days in office? Let's see what it comes up with. He reportedly embarked on 8 vacations in his first 7 months. Columnists and commentators have described his time as a perpetual vacation, joking he's been out of office for half of his first 200 days. What we don't know, exact numbers of days off, is not publicly available. Reports mention the number of vacations, 8 trips. Without definitive, we cannot calculate. A very rough estimate, around a quarter to a third of his first 200 days could have been spent on vacation. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Oh God, that's funny. A third to a quarter of his first 200 days in office was spent on vacation. Must be nice. And of course, and we've been paying for it, taxpayer dollars too. That's nice too, for security at least. Exactly. ChatGPT is a Democrat. Exactly. ChatGPT was fine until Trump won the election, and then it wanted to hurt him. Yeah, sure. Man. Well, I wasn't quite sure if they were being serious, Ash. Were they? If you're sure they were being serious, that's fine. I wasn't sure though. That would have, unless you saw something else they wrote. It was accidental. Okay. I'm so glad I have helpers too. Are you kidding? Yeah. Oh yeah, Kamala Harris took her first, like 1/3 of her first 200 days in office on vacation. I mean, think about it. We're worrying about inflation, and this guy's traveling around the world. I mean, and he's been going like abroad too. Like he can't go to America. I mean, everything about it is just so, he's like, yay, I'm vice president. I can buy a new couch. I can travel around the world. Woo-woo. Flooding. That's right. He flooded a river. They had to flood the river to make it deeper for him because the Secret Service couldn't go on the river because it wasn't deep enough. So rather than pick a different river, he had them flood the river and then claimed he didn't know about it. Sure, he didn't know about it. Sure, he didn't know about it. Give me a break. His staff absolutely positively would have had to approve that. Michelle got the joke, at least. Good. So did Deb. Okay. Yeah. So crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff. Oh boy. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. What else? He cut down trees for a photo shoot in Vermont? No way. Did he really? Did he? 5 more minutes for my jasmine rice. Well, and then I'm going to let it sit. Supposedly you have to let it sit like 10 to 20 minutes and it's better. It's like, okay. Who knew? Oh, what else, guys? I'm going to call it quits soon. I'm still very tired. Oh, man. Those trees are the new legs on his couch. Yeah, I've been liking jasmine rice. Supper, if I'm hungry, supper will probably be just some orange chicken I bought across the street at the grocery store. So thank you, Jay Shea. Anything else, guys? All right. Night, Dave. Thank you, Jay Shea, Rosie Gothic for the gifts. Thanks, guys. Oh boy. Oh, I actually bought some risotto too that I've not made, but I'm going to need to. I used water. I didn't know you can use chicken stock. Sasha's good. She's asleep underneath in her little bed, her little pink bed underneath my table. Thank you, Real Life and Ken, for the gifts. I didn't know. Can you? I've always thought stock, like chicken stock or whatever, with rice cooked kind of funny. I've always felt. No updates on the gerrymandering. No. Some of Epstein's files may have been released. Oh, that's interesting. Ooh, there's a nice gift. Who was that? Flower. Thank you, Flower Lady. Totally unnecessary, but totally appreciated. Thank you for that. Very nice. I don't know who we had a giraffe before. I don't know if I don't remember. That was cool. Watching Lisa and stuff. I don't recall. Now, the thing is, because I've got my speaker plugged in, I can never hear the gifts. Did that gift have noise or not? Some of them have noise, which is kind of cool. Like the whale used to do, be like, whoa, whoa, kind of thing. No sound? Okay. Because I only like once or twice, or I think the planes, the fighter planes that Dawn or Flower Lady did. I think the flyer. Am I wrong? One of you did the fighter planes the other day. They sorry, I don't remember. Sorry, bad memory on these things. But I think they whoosh. I think. Was it Dawn? Thank you, Dawn. I think they go whoosh. Oh, thank you, Bryce, for the puppy kisses. So there were some Epstein papers. Let me see. I did not see that. Let me see. Epstein. Oh, you're right. You're right. This just happened. Tens of thousands of Epstein-related records from DOJ released, Oversight Committee says. The House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform said it has released tens of thousands of records related to Jeffrey Epstein. On August 5th, Chairman Comer issued a subpoena for records related to Epstein, and Department of Justice has indicated it will continue to produce blah, blah, blah. Democratic members of the committee have previously said that most of the files turned over by DOJ are already public. 97% are in the public domain, 3% are new. So this may be a little bit of a smoke and mirrors to appease people. If only 3% of the files weren't public, then they're not really making things public. I mean, it's good, but it's not really good. Yeah, that's all there is. Okay. Yeah, interesting, but I don't think it's exactly. That sounds like nothing. That does not sound like anything significant to me. Unfortunately, if the information was already, ooh, what happened there? Did my Google password change? I don't remember that. What is this? I didn't change my Google password. Anyway. Oh, there we go. That's my jasmine rice. Actually, 1 second. I'm going to unplug it and let it sit. One moment. Relax you. I was told one unplugs the rice and lets it sit. So that is what I am doing. So, and I'll probably have some later. I'm starting to get a little hungry, so I think I will have some. What is going on here? Why is my iPad being goofy? Remember the Space Force are called Guardians? Rice Unplugged, all is well. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy, which is kind of cute. Yeah, my iPad is not updating the mail, and I'm not sure why. This is the wrong iPad. That's why. Okay. Interesting. I wonder if I did not know my password changed. Maybe I did. I don't think I changed my password. That's a little weird. No, it's claiming, no, it didn't. Yeah. I'm going to have to I think I'm going to have to reboot this iPad, probably. The Space Cadets. I know Space Cadets would be funny. I'm gonna close it and turn it on. Yeah, I'm rebooting it. I think that's the problem. So, but yes. I've narrowed down the computer, the laptop. So I'm gonna wait for Apple to do their event in a week, because sometimes the prices go down. But you guys had recommended specific things. It's $2,500, which is actually good, because previously I was having to pay I've had to pay like $3,500 for my laptops before with Apple's. I mean, not always, but sometimes. So $2,500 is actually not bad for MacBook Pro. Yeah. But it's got, anyway, the specs are decent. The RAM is, I think, maxed out, which is good. Processor is good, I think, from what I can tell. But people went through and figured out the specs for me. So I think it's good. I got to actually double check on Apple's website. I doubt it's cheaper, but it's worth checking. I doubt, typically not going to be. I'm going to probably get it on Amazon, because I also get 5% back with Amazon Prime. So it's worth it. Anyway, Apples are overpriced. They are. I mean, I love them, but they're overpriced. There's Sasha doing it. Oh, she's doing a stretching cameo. But I've been using Macs for so many years now. I really can't switch. I don't want to switch anyway, but I also can't. I mean, it'd be way too hard. But I do like my Macs very much. So, MacBook Pros have always been expensive, though. I mean, like I said, I've paid $3,500 for them before, sometimes, to get like a really good one. So, what is going on here? Just looking here to see. Maybe it's on the wrong Wi-Fi. Is it on my right Wi-Fi? Yeah, it's on my right Wi-Fi. I don't know what's going on. Weird. Somehow the mail just isn't updating, and I don't know why. You just put a MacBook Pro? Anyway, all right, guys. I think I'm going to call it quits. It's 7:00. I am very, very tired. Again, hopefully, I've been eating well, so hopefully my energy is coming back, or will be coming back soon. So at least I'm getting the calories now. The multi icon. What does the multi icon do, Sharon? Anyway. Hello, oh, doggy. I knew you'd want to go out there. I knew you would. Oh, sorry. Do your thing. All right, guys. I'm going to call it quits. Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for joining. Thank you, mods. As always, I'll start with the Discord folks. 1 second here. Oops. My eye is itching. All right, Discord, JT and Jeffrey. See you guys. Boom. Boom. All right. YouTube, see you guys. Have a good evening. All right. And then TikTok.